Hey everybody, and welcome back to a fun edition of Book Club with Dark Jessie. And today we are going to continue our series of Ordinary People Change the World. And today we are reading I Am Lucille Ball. All right, this is a funny one. I am Lucille Ball. When I was a little girl, my mother tried to dress me in ribbons and bows. But I was different from other girls. My idea of fun was horsing around with my dad. He used to throw me up to the ceiling, always catching me and making me laugh. Put her down right now. That's not a game for a proper girl. I don't think this one's a proper girl. Look, I'm a pelican. I can lay eggs on your head. When I was 3 years old, the local grocer used to let me put on shows at his store. My favorite was the frog routine. People thought I was brave for performing so young. It wasn't bravery. I was just doing what came naturally. That's not a proper girl. Not even a proper frog. Customers paid me with pennies and candies, making these my first professional appearances. I had even more fun when my aunt used to let me work in her beauty salon. She let me do the hair of her customers' children. Little girl, what do you think you're doing? What comes naturally? You're a porcupine. Soon after, the beauty salon went out of business. But my childhood wasn't all goofiness and games. When I was 7 years old, I went to live with Grandmother Peterson, and she didn't like the way I played. In fact, she thought having fun was a bad thing. What are you doing? Playing, it's fun. Fun. Little girls aren't supposed to have fun, not in this house. Instead, in her dark kitchen, she made me wash lots of dishes. Not good enough, do them again. But Grandma, little girls don't argue. Again. She didn't even allow any mirrors in her house, except for the one in the bathroom. She thought they made you think too much of yourself. When I rode on trolley cars, I used to make silly faces at my reflection. Try it. You'll see so many possibilities. To Grandmother Peterson, little girls weren't supposed to be bold, sassy, or silly. As punishment, she'd send me to bed before sundown. I still remember lying there, hearing all the other kids playing outside. But no matter how tough those days were, I had one thing to get me through: my sense of humor. On rainy days, I'd play on back porches and make dolls out of clothespins. I gave them all personalities. You wouldn't believe the adventures we had. What's that, Sheriff? You need a cowgirl to come to the rescue with a mask and big blue eyes and sparkling personality? It's your lucky day. I got the roughest, toughest one right here. Here I come. There really is something wrong with that girl. There's nothing wrong with Lucille, is there? My shows only got bigger. When I was 8, my mom moved us to a 3-bedroom house that was right by an amusement park. That's right, a real amusement park. I'd act out movies in our backyard. My friends and little brother were the co-stars. If they weren't there, I pretend the chicken coop was my castle. Our chickens were my loyal army. Avast, ye lumbers of land! 'Tis I, Peggy Leg Lucy. I've come for your treasure. First mate, chicken face. Second mate, chicken stick. Get your men ready. On 3, attack, Brock! Is she talking to those chickens? The crazy part is, I think they're listening. By the time I was 12, I realized there was a real power in making people laugh. The principal of my school, a man named Bernard Drake, realized it too. He was the very first person to label my wild and funny behavior as talent. That's what you've got, Lucy. Work hard at it. When you do, people will pay attention. Oh, her name is Lucy? I took his advice. The next year, a friend and I put on our first amateur production, a play called Charlie's Aunt. It was the very first time I felt that wonderful feeling that comes from getting laughs on a real stage. How much did I love it? To have that starring role, I sold the tickets, swept up after, and even turned out the lights. No matter what your dream is, if you want it, you have to work for it. That's what I did. Was I a bit enthusiastic? Sometimes. When I was 15, during one musical, I did a dance with so much excitement I fell into the orchestra pit and dislocated my arm. I think something's in my tuba. That's my head. By the way, your breath smells like gorilla burps. Ooh. When I was 17, my mom sent me to a fancy acting school in New York. It didn't go as planned. Speak clearly. Say water and horses. Water and hasses. I said water and horses. That's what I said. Water and hasses. Now, how Midwestern. We have to change that. Can't you be a proper girl like your fellow student, Betty Davis? The teachers made fun of how I spoke. They said I had no talent, that I couldn't sing and couldn't dance. All the other girls laughed at me. They were tall and beautiful. I was funny and different. Of the 70 students accepted to the school, they narrowed it down to 12. I didn't make it. I failed. Sorry, kid, you're not what we're looking for. And then I tried being a dancer. Sorry, kid, you're not what we're looking for. But nothing changed. Sorry, kid, you're not what we're looking for. I never let it stop me. At one point, I was so poor, I was down to my last 4 cents. That's it, 4 pennies. To eat, I'd wait for a customer to leave a restaurant, and then I'd grab their leftover food before it got thrown away. What are you doing? Stuffing newspapers in the holes. I need to keep going. I went to so many tryouts, I even wore out my shoes. But no matter how hard I tried, the message never seemed to change. You're a nice kid, but you just don't have it. Why don't you just go home and raise a big family? Eventually, I did find work. And then, with a bit of luck, I finally got my first big break in the movies. I was 21 years old and selected to be one of the girls in the background of a movie, Roman Scandals. As the director came to inspect us all, I grabbed some red crepe paper, tore it into shreds, and licked it. And here he comes. Lucy, what are you doing? Just what comes naturally. Ta-da! You're funny, kid. What's your name? Lucille Ball. I stood out from the crowd that day. From there, I got my first on-screen acting credit in a short football comedy starring the Three Stooges. Hey guys, what are you? Nook. That girl's funny. Most girls didn't want those slapstick parts. I loved them, and I knew how to make them even funnier. Splat. If you flinch when the pie hits you, the audience doesn't laugh as hard. I never flinched. It goes back to those days when my dad threw me in the air. I knew he was going to catch me. I knew I would be safe. In time, that confidence led to one role that changed my life. I had left movies and was working in radio. Then CBS had a brand new idea for a TV show. It'll be a comedy about this wacky redhead and her husband. Great! I'll star in it with Desi Arnaz, my real Cuban musician husband. Babaloo! Lucy, it'll never work. There's no way that American people will watch that kind of a couple. To prove them wrong, my husband Desi and I took our show on the road. We turned it into a vaudeville act. Vaudeville was an old kind of show with lots of funny skits. They call me Sally Sweet. I'm the queen of Delancey Street. When I start to dance, everything goes chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom, chicka chicka boom. That is not a proper girl. Isn't it great? It became such a big hit, CBS decided it was ready for TV. We asked for one thing, to film the show in front of a live audience. Hearing that audience, people at home would really feel the laughter. Places, everyone. The TV network was worried about the cost of film. They said it would be too expensive. So we made a deal. They could pay us less money, but the show would belong to us. On September 8th, 1951, the bleachers filled up by 8 p.m. I Love Lucy was ready to go, and there was nothing proper about it. Every episode, Lucy and Ricky, along with their best friends, Ethel and Fred, would get into a crazy adventure. If one piece of candy gets past you into the packing room unwrapped, you're fired. This isn't so bad. Ah, it's getting too fast. Ah, gulp, 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 gulp. Here she comes. Every week, America turned in to see what Lucy was up to. They wanted to see what new trouble I'd get into. Yes, buy Veta Meta Vegemin. Get a great big bottle of Meta Meta Vegemin, Mida Veta Meaty Map. And they wanted to see who else would show up. We had famous guest stars like Harpo Marx and Superman. That's right, Superman. Between 1952 and 1953, though the first TV bosses said no one would be interested, 2 out of 3 households with TV sets were watching I Love Lucy on Monday nights. What was the secret of the show's success? It was the thing that I learned all those years ago. You can always find a laugh in what everyone else is taking so seriously. Call Dr. Harris, the baby is coming! Today, people call the greatest comedian of my time one of the most beloved entertainers ever, but I was also the first woman to run a major Hollywood studio. Did you know she was nominated for an Emmy Award 13 times and won 4 times? And that she has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? She even had her own postage stamp. I just like that people still dress as her for Halloween. Remember when I said the TV show belonged to us? Our studio, Desilu, used the money from I Love Lucy to produce other shows like Star Trek and Mission Impossible. Nice outfit, you too. In life, people put me down because I was different from everyone else. They didn't like the way I looked or the way I talked or even the way I was always clowning around. This isn't a joke. Don't let other people change you. There's no such thing as a proper girl or boy. Be true to who you are. Go look in a mirror. Then someone puts you down, that's who you'll pick up back. That's who you'll back up. When you get sad, that's who will help you laugh it off. To find happiness in life, you have to do what you do best. Trust me on this. Every time you look in that mirror, your possibilities are endless. She really got her own museum? Yep. She even got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. Look, I'm doing what comes naturally. I'm wearing your stamps. You got moxie, kid. Don't be afraid to stand out. Do I got moxie too? No, you got stamps on your head. You look like a flower. I am Lucille Ball. I believe that humor can take on anything. We all need laughter, every single one of us. And for the best comedy, people have to believe in you. But for that to happen, you have to believe in yourself. I Love Lucy wasn't just the title of the show. It was my most important life lesson. In this world, the person you need to love the most is you. All right, and that is it about Lucy. So I would love for you guys to get on YouTube and search up some of the famous I Love Lucy scenes. There's a ton of them out there. Take a look. They're in black and white, but you know what? They are so awesome. All right, guys, we miss you so much. We love you, and we're thinking about you every day. Hope to see you soon. May the force be with you, and bye.